Android and iPhone users welcome. BlackBerry and Windows Phone users, we will accept you. The podcast going beyond the headlines. This is the Gooplycast. Now the host, Matthew Carter.
Hello everyone, you're listening to the Gooplycast. Welcome. If you're watching us live on Periscope, Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube, thank you for joining us. And if you're watching us or listening to us after our live show, thank you for spending some of your time with us. I'm your host, Matt Carter. With me today is Matt Evans. Hey, Matt.
Hello.
As well as Roy Slapinski. Hey, Roy.
Hello.
As well as Tim Van Claveren. Hey, Tim.
Hello.
And today we have iPhone 12 impressions, specifically the Pro, which I'm really looking forward to hearing what Matt has to say, because you and Roy had a live show about your immediate first impressions over the weekend, right?
Yeah, on Friday night. Yeah,
Friday
we did
night.
it on launch day. Yeah. So here's the iPhone 12.
Oh, look at that. Beautiful.
Not a beauty. Look at that. You still got a fingerprint sensor on it. The round edges. Headphone jack. It's got a headphone jack.
Is that an aluminum back too?
Look at the two-tone back. Black on the top, silver in the middle, black on the bottom.
Single camera.
Single camera. You got a flash.
A raised Apple logo close to the top there.
You got all the text down there, like copyright or battery operated design by
it, though.
That's such quality. The engraving on that must have cost them so much.
Oh, they moved the power button to the top?
Yeah, the power button's at the top again. Look at that.
It's truly a revolutionary device.
Here is the iPhone 12.
So what Matt was just showing for all of our listeners, that was the iPhone 5S?
5S, yeah.
5S, okay. Now we have the actual iPhone 12 Pro.
So that's
in
the Pro.
Pacific Blue.
In Pacific Blue. Look at that.
Ooh.
That spider face of a camera array.
Love the shiny sides.
Yeah, look at
Don't those just catch your eye so much?
It's like a reflective blue mirror. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Matt's got a mirror everywhere he goes. He doesn't even need a self camera anymore.
Yeah, you don't have to open up the camera app anymore.
I've got the Apple silicone case.
That's a MagSafe one?
Yep, it's the MagSafe. So you got the MagSafe in the middle. Now I showed this on the Gooplycast, but here, or on the podcast, or on the YouTube
Live show
on Friday, yeah. But you couldn't really see it, so.
Does it fit nice and snug, and any gripping issues or anything like that with it?
No, not at all. But let me try it again here.
Oh, interesting.
So it tells you what case. It's hard to focus in on it on this camera, but I'll do a more in-depth video and post it on YouTube or something. But when you connect the case, it can tell the case, and it does a little animation on the screen to show that it's what it's connected to and what color of phone case it is. Which
so it'll be like a blue ring if it's a blue case, or a red ring if it's a red case.
Yeah.
How the hell do you do that?
They just put an NFC tag in it, probably. That's all. That's all it really is.
That's cool.
Does it make the cool little MagSafe sound when you put the case on too? Have you heard that little MagSafe sound? There's a sound that your phone will, instead of doing the regular charging chime when you put the MagSafe charger on it, it makes a completely different sound, and that sound is amazing.
Yeah, I don't have the charger yet. I don't have the MagSafe charger yet, so I actually don't have any accessories that go with the case yet. I was going to get the wallet, but then I waited too long, and now the wallet's pre-backdated until November, middle of November.
Wow.
So I'm waiting for that. But I did watch some YouTube videos on it, and some people said that the magnet for the wallet is not that strong, so you lack some of the sturdiness of keeping your wallet and stuff intact. So
I watched a few YouTube videos of people simulating bringing it in and out of their pockets, and it seemed to stay on fairly well.
Yeah, I've seen a couple too, and I've seen some other people that say that it just pops right off sometimes if you. I mean, I guess it's just how you kind of put it in there and stuff like that. But
I would imagine that it would be less secure with the case on.
Yeah,
if you're putting
too.
the wallet over the case, it might lose some of that mag safeness.
Yeah, but it technically has like magnets inside the case now too. So basically, you take the MagSafe case, connects to the phone then connects to the wallet. You can't connect the charger over the wallet. You have to take off the wallet. A lot of people have been asking if you can actually charge it with the wallet and just tack on things, but you can't. So, yeah. So, obviously, coming from a iPhone 11 Pro Max, so you can see there's a bit of a size difference in the two devices. But I've actually kind of liked the smaller screen. It's
I never thought I would hear you say that.
I didn't think I would say it either, but I do kind of enjoy it. And I have a Pixel too, so that I usually carry with me as well. So being able to do, and that's a 6.3 inch display. So I have a larger display if I need it. But overall, the size of it hasn't bothered me at all. 6.1 inches. It fits in my wireless charging dock in my car, which is really nice. Me and my wife were both very excited for that when we did it. I was like, we can finally charge our phones over wireless in the car. So that was exciting. She got the gold version, which is very gold on the sides, but it's kind of a very light gold on the back of it. So that's kind of interesting. I'm going to grab the case. Hold on real quick for it.
All right.
You should grab her phone while you're at it. I want to see it.
And I've seen the side of the gold phones. It's way more beautiful than I thought it was going to be. It's like this crisp, nice, reflective gold, like a bar of gold is very alluring.
So this is the box for the iPhone 11 Pro Max.
Got some size.
This is the box for the iPhone 12 Pro.
It's like a third the size. Like
yeah,
a little
look
bit
at that.
more than a third.
Yeah, look at that. That is very, very small. And then if you open up the box, literally, you have two things inside. Let me see if I can focus in on it. Two things inside. Just the charger, which is a USB-C to Lightning cable. And then you get the Apple bundle, which comes with only one Apple sticker, might I add. The other ones all came with two. So, yeah. Very different packaging, very different phone. I'm glad they went back to the rounded edges. I really like the rounded or the solid edges rather than the curved.
And I've heard that the solid edges don't really add. Some people were worried about it kind of biting into the hands a little bit. I've heard that it doesn't really. How do you feel about that? It
very much feels more comfortable in my hands. Holding it, gripping it is very much easier, I feel like. It could just be because I also have a smaller phone now, coming from a 6.3 inch to a 6.1 kind of fits a little better in my hand. But overall, like I feel like I have a better grip on it than I do with my iPhone 11 Pro.
You're making a compelling argument, I'm telling you.
What does that mean, Roy?
Well, I mean, I've obviously watched like a week's worth of reviews and first impressions from other YouTubers, and As much as I really want the larger screen, because I have a iPhone 10, which is I think a 5.8-inch screen. Um, the going up to the 6.7 sounds alluring, but also having a phone that can fit slightly better in my hand, like the iPhone 12 Pro, um, sounds good too. One-handed usage sounds awesome. I know that if I go to the Pro Max, it's not going to be as easy to operate with one hand. And I know that having that squared off edges, the flat edges, one-handed usage is where it's really going to shine. Having that kind of body design.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've tossed around. I haven't decided to go with one, but I've tossed the idea around in my head.
So that's the difficult thing about, like you said, spending a week watching other people handle and like test this brand new phone while you're deciding to wait even longer for another phone that people haven't really talked as much about and gone over.
Well, in none of those, I will not get to see any first impression or unboxing or review of the Pro Max until after I've pre-ordered mine.
Yep.
So I have to decide, basically sight unseen, if that's the way that I want to go, unless I want to wait, like a month past that to get my phone. As it is, I want to say Matt was telling me the other day, or yesterday maybe, iPhone 12 Pros are shipping in mid-November now, aren't they? Isn't that what you're saying, Matt?
23rd, I think, November 23rd.
So it's
think is when
it's
they were
fallen even
shipping.
later,
Yeah.
and we're not even a week into its release yet.
No, it was November 16th. I'm sorry, November 16th
Okay.
is when the iPhone. So you'd get it around the same time you would get the iPhone Pro Max, if they're on schedule for it. Could also get the iPhone Mini.
No, I don't want to. Last time I held my wife's old iPhone SE, I could not imagine trying to. I mean, I know we had phones that small. Don't get me wrong, but like going back to something that small, I couldn't. She broke her iPhone 10R. 2 months ago now, and she was using her old SE that was slightly broken, like one of the where one of the antenna bands are, it was kind of bent upwards because she dropped it and broken it, and so she was using that in the time in between getting a new phone, and I was setting up her Apple ID for her because she's not as tech savvy as I am, and I'm sitting there trying to type in her information, and I keep fat fingering everything because the keyboard's so small. I don't know how we ever did it. I mean, and that's the larger screen. The iPhone 4 was even smaller.
Yeah, and I was setting up for just this comparison. I was setting up my iPhone 5S and like trying to type in my password for the Apple ID was so difficult. Like I screwed up like 3 or 4 times, and then it was like, "Are you really the person that you're signing into?" But it was really rough. Typing on that small keyboard. So I don't know how we did it. I was just obviously pandemic aside, things have changed, and I don't really go and order my phones in the store, but I will just say when I did get my first, not the 5S, which this is, but when I got the first iPhone 5, I camped out in front of the AT&T store overnight at the Everett Mall.
Oof.
For that phone.
People are still doing that now for the 12.
I was first in line, though. I was first in line. My only ever time that I ever camped out in front of it for a phone, but I wanted to experience it, and I did. Now, the pre-order was pretty basic and pretty easy for the iPhone 12 Pro. I'm on the iPhone upgrade program. So basically, I went in ahead of time and I got pre-approved. I chose the phone and the device that I wanted. I chose the size, all that. And then basically at 5 o'clock on Friday morning following the event, I just logged into the Apple app and pushed buy now, and bam, it was done. My credit card shipping information was already entered in there. Everything was done. So it was literally like 1 or 2 clicks that all I had to do. So the pre-order process was extremely easy for the iPhone 12 Pro.
And with that, you get absolute simplicity. You get it to show up right at your doorstep, but we lose out on being able to spend like an afternoon or a night or whatever at an event with a bunch of people that are just as excited, if not more so, to get the same kind of device and like share stories about it and stuff.
Yeah, and I remember when we were talking. I don't know if it was during the podcast or after the podcast, but we were talking about like video game night releases and stuff like that when we used to stay up, and then there was movie nights when you used to wait up till midnight to go to a new movie release, and you just don't have those anymore. So pre-ordering the iPhone is just been so different over the years. Just like when you pre-order a lot of different things now with the internet and ordering online and picking up at the store or picking up from your front porch. It's a lot different. I will say last year, so the iPhone 12 came out when I was on vacation, and I just happened to be in New York City, and the brand new Fifth Avenue, New York City store had just opened. And so I picked up the iPhone 11 Pro Max from the brand new redesigned Fifth Avenue store. And it was interesting. So it's basically a all glass top, and it's just got the Apple logo in it. And then there's a little door on the front of Fifth Avenue where you go into it. And then it's a windy staircase all the way down to the bottom. And then it's got plant life and everything underneath. It was so surreal to walk down the stairs to that iconic Fifth Avenue Apple store for my pre-order. So I know we're getting a little off topic from the 12, but yeah, it's just kind of changed but totally happy with the iPhone 12 Pro. No regrets from going down from the Pro Max.
So one of the things that you mentioned you want to talk about was, so you wanted to talk about the smaller screen size, but I also wanted to ask about the smaller weight, I guess, because it's supposed to be lighter than previous iPhones. And Roy, you were talking about wanting to use it one-handed, and I was curious what you think the weight is like on this. And I can't remember what the weight's going to be like on the Pro Max, but maybe the lightness of the Pro Max will allow for a little bit more convenient one-handed use.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to provide convenience. I mean, screen size is still screen size. It's still going to be a large phone. Your thumb can only reach so far. I will say, however, with the flat sides, the sides probably don't protrude out as much, and that gets you, just a little bit more one-handed usage. But I can't imagine that it's going to be that measurable of a difference.
And I was just going to say that the overall size of it and weight of it doesn't feel much more different than the iPhone 12 Pro. Obviously, I'm coming from a bigger phone, so it's going to weigh more. I didn't have the previous iPhone Pro in the 11 model, but from what I'm told is it's slightly bigger. It's slightly heavier than that. So there is a weight difference in it, but I don't think it's not uncomfortable by any means in my end. So one of the things though that I did tweet out last night is battery life. And so I basically charged my phone from about 9 o'clock Saturday night, took it off the charger at about 7:08 a.m. on Sunday, and I never charged it at all. And I was at about 28% at around 7:30 p.m. So I had 5 hours, 50 minutes of on-screen time and 1 hour of 46 minutes of screen off time. So overall, I mean, I think I did really well with screen time, for using it quite a bit, heavily used, and still having that great battery life.
Did you watch any videos or do any streaming?
I did do video stream, so I did watch some YouTube videos on it. I did a lot of what else did I do? I'm trying to look at my notes here. I did a lot of streaming. I did a lot of email. I did a lot of web surfing, Apple News, a little bit of music and podcasting. It was also connected to my CarPlay for about 45 minutes twice, so each direction about 45 minutes, so about a little over almost 2 hours. So I mean, battery life was still really consistent with what I have on the iPhone Pro Max and or the 11 Pro Max, and it just didn't seem like it was any different to me. And I know the Pro Max in the 11 model has a slightly larger battery than the 11 Pro. But I think that Apple has gotten so good at optimizing the software with the battery, and that really pays off in performance.
Did you notice any 5G? Because they have the like intelligent switching where they switch back and forth between 5G and LTE when you're doing heavy network use. Did you get to play around with that at all?
So I did some 5G testing, and I didn't get very good optimization on it. I kind of mentioned this in the broadcast on Friday night. I was at about 84 megabytes on a download speed and 13 megabytes on an upload speed. And that's really LTE speeds. Like, I get that. I've gotten that before on my iPhone 11 Pro Max. So I'm getting 5G there, but I'm not getting the 5G speeds. One of my friends who also got the iPhone 11, or excuse me, the 12 Pro, the same model that I did, he lives in Seattle, and he got some of the more comparable speeds in certain areas. And then once he got out of his apartment and started walking around a little more, he got up into the 300 to 400, 500 mark.
That's
for a download speed, which is insane for it.
Yeah. And that's one of the things about 5G is that there's a couple different wavelengths. There's like 3 tiers, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the low tier, which is like comparable to the speeds that we have now at LTE. And then there's the high tier, which is millimeter wave. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Which I don't think is in a lot of places right now. So we were talking about this. Sorry, what?
It's not. It's still being rolled out, most of it.
And that's one of the reasons why they partnered with Verizon, was because they are really trying to pioneer getting millimeter wave in as many places as possible. So it's possible if you get the iPhone 12, almost regardless of where you are, until they start rolling out this higher spectrum, you might not see really, really fast 5G speeds unless you do kind of get lucky to hit a pocket somewhere where there's maybe that second tier or maybe some third tier 5G speeds.
Yeah. I will say, and I mentioned this in the broadcast on Friday, that basically living on the island, 5G is pretty much all throughout the island now, but it's all of the low band frequency, which is better to penetrate signals and penetrate walls and stuff like that. But you don't get the high consistency of speeds that you do with the higher speed LTE or 5G bands. So there are pockets in Seattle though that have it, and you can get really strong speeds that you would expect to get on your internet modem if you pay that for that extra speeds. And like I pay extra for my home internet, so I have 600 megabytes on a download speed, and I know how that feels. I can tell that when I'm surfing the web that I'm not getting that on my phone, just based on the clickability and stuff like that. So
right. And one of the things that I was worried about with like internet speeds and 5G and Apple moving to 5G was what happened when we went from 3G to 4G. There were the like different bands and different network speeds and different network types, and they were all fighting like back in the days when Blu-ray was fighting with HD DVD. There were different formats, and it was hard, I feel like, for me and maybe for other consumers to understand which one was fastest or most consistent. But at least with Apple, they're going with one phone that does all 5G that exists, at least in North America. So
Yeah.
they make it pretty painless.
No, and I agree. You know, and 4G was kind of confusing a lot too, because AT&T was coming out with the 4G, what was it, 4GE or something like that.
There was like an edge network.
Yeah, they were trying to say that that it was 4G and it wasn't really 4G. It was still 3G. And they did the same thing with 5G. They did 5G. 5GE was their they finally rolled out a software update that took that away, because again, it was confusing people who had a 4G phone that were getting 5G bars, and they didn't really have a 5G phone. So, you know, it was confusing then, and it's still kind of confusing now. And I think it'll just be that way until 5G like completely rolls out to all the networks. AT&T, you know, like I said, is rolling out there. Verizon just launched their nationwide 5G. Again, it's not the high speeds that you normally get, but and again, I haven't tested the 5G on Verizon at all. I'm just testing the T-Mobile side of things, but from what I've heard, it's not the fastest 5G on the nationwide for Verizon either, unless you're in certain, you know, pockets where they've rolled out the faster 5G.
Well. So now I want to hear.
I did do a camera test. So, Tim, if you want to share my screen. So, I'm going to do some more comparison, but the photo on the left is the iPhone 12 Pro, and the photo on the right is my Pixel 4 XL. And this is in portrait mode on the front-facing camera, just to give you an idea. And I'm going to do some more comparisons. I started doing some more, but this is kind of all I got done so far, where I feel like I got a good shot of what's in there. But you can see that there's a wider lens on the front-facing camera on the Pixel 4 XL. So you're getting a wider screenshot than you are on the 12 Pro. It's more zoomed in, but the portrait mode on both sides of the phone, I feel like, is very comparable.
Yeah, no disagreement there.
I definitely think the iPhone 12, it's a little bit brighter, and I think it brings out some of the color a little bit better. I mean, both of them are fantastic photos. I mean, I couldn't choose which one I think is better. They both have their qualities to them.
Yeah, both look really great for being on a phone. I'm used to using DSLRs. Those are really good for a phone camera.
And I want to compare. Obviously, I can't compare portrait mode, but I do want to compare what photos I get on the iPhone 5 as well. And I was actually going to do the Nexus 5 as well. So to give you kind of an idea of where we are camera wise, because a lot of people might be coming from either the SE model, which does have a better camera and better components in 5 than the 5, but you know, there's still people out there that use a iPhone 5S. I actually know a couple of them, but I won't point them out. But there are 2 people in my family that still have iPhone 5Ss.
I know the original SE was so popular. There's still plenty of people out there that still have the original SE as well.
Yeah, and it's still supported on iOS 14. So, you know, there's a lot of people out there that have smaller iPhones that might be
thinking about moving up to the new iPhone 12 or the 12 mini. And so I think doing some comparisons on some photos is out there. So plan to do some walk around the island and take some outdoor pictures and some more portrait modes and stuff like that, and compare them versus the other cameras. I mean, obviously the 12 Pro is going to win versus all these older cameras, but I'm also going to do some with my iPhone 11 Pro. Personally, I think if you don't want to upgrade, you don't really need to upgrade from the 11 Pro. Obviously, Roy still has an iPhone 10, and I think that from an iPhone 10 standard, moving up to the iPhone 12 is a great upgrade. You're going to get a much better quality in camera. You're going to get faster in components inside your phone, processing speed, stuff like that. It's definitely going to be a good upgrade for you. But obviously, if you have last year's model, I don't think it's worth upgrading.
I can still get that iPhone 12 tomorrow, though.
Oh man!
I'm sitting here trying to talk myself into the fact that I would much rather have the Pro model versus the base model, because I am so done with my 10. Like my 10's battery sucks, the camera sucks,
the SIM card slot sucks.
Yeah, every so often, like I have to eject my SIM tray and put it back in order to get it to recognize my SIM card. It will just out of nowhere just say no SIM card entered or whatever it says when there's no SIM card installed. And I know that pre-orders for the Pro Max are just around the corner. You know, I only have 2, maybe 3 weeks max that I'd have to wait in order to get a new phone. But let's see, 3 weeks. 3 weeks I'd have to wait to get a new phone. And I am trying to talk myself out of just settling for the iPhone 12, which, don't get me wrong. If I got the iPhone 12, I know that it's a great phone. It's still got a great camera. I would probably be perfectly happy with it. I want to go for the Pro or the Pro Max because I want the slightly better camera system. It's got a little bit more RAM, which I know that would be nice for app management, but just trying to talk. I can go get it tomorrow. I can go be out of this nightmare of my iPhone 10 tomorrow.
What do you mean your camera sucks? Has something gone wrong with the camera? After using, like, say, the Pixel or something like that, like there's like the picture that I have, or that I had, I changed my photo today, that I had on the front of my screen, was a picture that I took of my kids at the beach up in Mukilteo, and the quality on it just really sucks. Like, I'd wish that I'd had my Pixel with me that day that I took that picture, because the quality on the cameras is not good. Everything's too washed out as far as color's concerned. It almost looks like there's too much of a glare in the picture. I don't know. I don't know. It's not as good as I want it to be, and it's not worth. Like, we went to the zoo 2 Sundays ago, and I brought my Pixel with me to take pictures because I knew how much the pictures suck that come from my iPhone 10, because it's old. I could go to the South Center Mall tomorrow and get the blue iPhone 12, because if you're getting the iPhone 12, the blue model is the way to go. I usually like the red stuff, and I would have gone with the product red, but I think the product red this year looks a little too pink. But I'd go to South Center tomorrow and get a blue iPhone 12. Now, do you know if the back cameras, or the back camera array or whatever on the iPhone 12 series now does like computational photography? So it takes like multiple pictures all in like fractions of a second, and then grabs the best parts of all of the images that it takes and then stitches them together to give you the final, like, best possible picture that
you're talking about Deep Fusion.
Okay,
I believe it's called Deep Fusion, and I believe that is on the whole iPhone 12 family this year. Last year, I want to say it was only on the Pro series.
Mm-hmm. And now it's on the whole array. So that isn't improved if you would go with the 12 Max. What do you get? What are you holding out for camera-wise?
So if you go with the Pro Max, you get a larger sensor in the main camera. The focal point or whatever is slightly better. You get a slightly better zoom on it by like 0.2 or something like that. And you get this new image stabilization on the main camera sensor that Apple has come up with, that they have on the Pro Max that they don't have on the Pro, to give you much smoother videos and much smoother pictures while moving. And that's honestly, that's pretty much all you get going from the Pro to the Pro Max, other than obviously the screen size. Obviously, you're going to get a larger battery on the Pro Max, but you can't. I know on the iPhone 11 Pro Max, the battery life was a lot better. Knowing that the iPhone 12 Pro and 12 regular does not have as good a battery life as the iPhone 11 Pro. I've watched a lot of battery comparisons, and they're not quite as good. I don't think that you can necessarily count the bigger battery in the Pro Max as being better battery in the long run. I think we're going to have to wait to see the tests on that. So I don't know if you can put that as a Pro. Basically, you're just getting the slightly larger, I think it's like a 28% larger camera sensor, the optic image stabilization, and the better focal zoom on the camera. I think that's about it. Other than that, they're going to be identical.
If you want to put up the screen, I have the specs on the camera. So it's a 12 megapixel camera system with an ultra wide and wide cameras. And then you do get the deep fusion. You get the night mode. You get the smart HDR3. So it's got most of the features that you get on the iPhone 12 Pro. One of the things that I would say, Roy, and you're lacking, I mean, you're not a big photo editor, but I do like the fact that Apple's going to come out with their Apple RAW photos next year or later this year, and allow you to do more RAW editing on the iPhone, with internal applications, which will be kind of cool. So
I think what Matt's really trying to say here is I should just go with the iPhone 12 so that we can compare the 12 and the Pro model a lot more side by side. That's the only thing I heard from that.
I heard get the Max so that we can compare that with the 12 Pro. That's what I heard.
I heard get the Mini.
Wow. So we're kind of all over the place. Well, 2 versus 1. 2 people said the Pro Max, so you got to wait for the 12 Pro Max. You only got 1 vote for the Mini and no vote for the 12.
I'm just saying that there are 4 people on this podcast, and there are 4 models of the iPhone that could be compared. I'm just throwing this out there, guys.
But here's the thing. The other 2 people on this podcast, the people on the left of this screen, are Android users. The people on the right are Apple fanboys, is what I called it last Friday.
So what better scenario than to give your Android fanboys the 2 base model iPhones and have them do a good in-depth review on it, and that it's not a biased review, or at least biased towards Apple. Whereas anything Matt Evans over here tells me, I have to take with a grain of salt because of the Apple fanboy that he is.
You're not wrong.
But I do have a Pixel. I do have a Pixel 5 as my secondary phone. So
do you have an Android shirt?
I don't have
good
an Android
question.
shirt. I don't have an Android shirt. Look at Tim.
Nice. Tim's got his little Android, an orange Android. See, that's how you know. That's how you know what being on Team Android means, when you've got some memorabilia.
Well, right here, Team iPhone, right here.
Well, exactly. You got the shirt on. It's a nice shirt, by the way.
It is. I got it at Apple Park in California. It's their signature shirt. It says on the side, designed by Apple in California, just like all their other products do. And don't get me wrong, like I have an Apple hat too when I visited Apple Park, but walking into that iconic Apple Park store is really different than walking into every other store. They have a lot of accessories there for that like shirt wise and stuff like that you can buy. There's a it's like not a museum, but it's like a model area where it shows all of Apple Park and how it was constructed. And you have iPads that you can walk around and you can see kind of what Apple Park looks like on the inside when you kind of go around the model of it. So it's kind of like an infrared, and it shows you what it looks like inside, which is really cool. So if you ever get a chance to go to Cupertino in California, definitely recommend just dropping by Apple Park. Even if you're not an Apple fan, it's really cool to see the spaceship design, and I highly recommend it. So,
you know what I learned yesterday? I just learned this yesterday, and I'm this is probably public information everyone knows, but in all the iPhone commercials, the time is always 9:41 or 9:42. I just learned finally what that means.
I had no idea about this. I didn't know that was a running theme that they had.
Because that was the time that Steve Jobs announced the original iPhone, right? That was what...
Yeah.
I just learned that yesterday watching a commercial.
Yeah. It's kind of been out there for a while. I didn't know about it until I read up on it too. I don't know. Did you know about it, Roy?
Nope. First time hearing about it.
Yeah.
Good job.
I read about it too.
Good
job. But yeah, if you ever get a chance, I recommend dropping by. It's quite the scenery. I mean, I would also go to the Google campus too down there. I just haven't, so they don't really have anything fun going on there.
They have the park, the Android park,
but it's not a spaceship. Like
that's not fun.
I mean, literally, like if you look at Apple Park, you can run around Apple Park. There's a trail. You can ride bikes around Apple Park. It's really fun.
Is this their facility, like where they?
Yeah, their new headquarters.
Their main headquarters. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that thing is a spaceship.
Yeah, and it's I don't know. Like I just here, if you want to pull up my screen.
Yeah, it sounds like Apple Disneyland.
It totally is. I mean, look at that.
It's going to start spinning, and then it'll lift off, and then they'll start selling iPhones from space, and they'll ship them down.
Well, and literally though, when you think about it, like I feel like if the Earth is ever going to come to an end, like they probably got a backup plan where it just takes off, lifts off. You know,
that's what they're funding. That's what they're paying for.
That's why they need
that's what
30%.
That's what the extra 30% is going for. I was just going to say that wrong. Your 30% is going so that the spaceship can take off when the world comes to an end.
Will continue when the world ends.
Yeah, you'll still be able to get your iPhones.
Oh my god! Oh, thank you, Apple, for making sure we can still get our iPhones.
$1,000 though.
Oh
yeah,
man,
it'll cost a while. Yeah. So, anyways, I think we had something else to talk about.
Quibi.
Oh yes. So Matt's like,
it's so dumb. I can't believe it.
Okay, so here's the thing. I never signed up for it. I never even signed up for it when Tim sent out the message that we could get 6 months of it free. I still never signed up for it. I literally never go into T-Mobile Tuesday app because I just feel like nothing ever comes out of it. But I
get my free Redbox rental every other week.
I don't even have a Redbox nearby. I don't even. And I don't have a DVD player, so it doesn't really matter anyways. But when Tim sent out the message that Quibi was shutting down, I quickly got onto my iPhone and I signed up for a $7.99 subscription because I wanted to see what it was all about. And I wanted to watch the show The Fugitive with Kiefer Sutherland. I'm a big Kiefer Sutherland fan, and I always wanted to watch that, but I didn't. So I downloaded it, and then I found out, hey, there's an Apple TV app. And I was like, what? And so I downloaded the Apple TV app. The Apple TV app came out one day before they announced they were shutting down.
But why? Why spend the money and the time continuing the development when you know you're just going to close down the whole show?
That's what I said. Like, why did
Why?
you just announce that and then you shut everything down? Give people a chance. Like,
What
I
a
think
great
they ran out of money.
wasting money.
I think they just ran out of money. Is pretty much they're at the point where they don't have.
How do you run out of $6.5 billion? I don't know.
Well, when you think about the
big
content
names
that
they brought on,
yeah, like I mean, there's a lot of big name shows on there, and that costs a lot of money to to film and stuff like that. The thing that, and I haven't finished the whole Fugitive yet, but the thing that I learned about this is that each episode is 8 minutes long.
Yeah, it's quick
how
bites.
it's going to be.
Okay, but this is like one full or two full episodes of a regular Apple TV show that I'm getting for that. So,
but you got to remember that it was meant to be consumed on the go, and I wonder if Quibi would have the faith that it's currently have. I mean, don't get me wrong, the idea is still stupid, but I wonder if it would still have the faith that it currently has if we weren't all locked down for so many months, and so many people that are still locked down, due to the pandemic that's going on. Would Quibi have died out as fast as it did if we were a full functioning society at the current moment? That's kind of the question that I have. Is Quibi a victim of the current circumstances of the time, or was it truly just a stupid idea like I think it is?
Like, if you give them the benefit of the doubt and say that their form of really quick, 8 to 13 minute segments of a show, if you say that form was meant to be consumed while people were using public transit or in a car ride going somewhere or in between meetings, or who knows, all the little moments that we find ourselves in that we might fill with watching part of a Netflix show or playing a game or something, Quibi has maybe a good potential to fit into those spaces. On the flip side, you also have a scenario where people were dredging the depths of Netflix and other content providers because a lot of the new content had come out. Everybody consumed it all. And then there was kind of this drought for a rather long period, probably like right around where summer hit, I want to say, maybe a little bit after, where people were like, I've watched everything. I've watched BoJack Horseman. I've watched Tiger King. I've watched Ozark. I've watched all of the things on Netflix. What am I going to watch now? And then Quibi is here with all of this new content, with all of these big names. And even in a period where people were looking for content, it didn't survive. So,
but that's because they got through the content too fast.
Well, and this is the thing. Like so take a 60-minute episode of a regular TV show, okay?
Yeah.
Like a normal Apple TV show or Netflix TV show is of roughly around 10 episodes, let's just say. That's about 600 minutes, okay? Quibi for The Fugitive has 14 episodes at about 8 minutes apiece. That's about 112 minutes of content. Like, you go from 600 minutes of content to 112 minutes of content. Like, that's a big jump for like one season.
Not only that, but I don't know about you guys, but like, say if I'm sitting in the break room at work and I want to watch something, I'll pull up whatever show I'm watching and I'll watch the 10, 15, 20 minutes of it, and then I'll go back to work. And then when I get home, I'll boot that show back up and continue on. Like, I know there are people out there. I have coworkers that are like, I don't know how you can stop in the middle of a movie or stop in the middle of an episode without consuming the entire episode or movie in one sitting. And I'm like, I have nothing else to do. I'm just going to sit here and watch this movie. I'm okay with taking like a 3-hour break from this movie or TV show and picking it up later. I don't need 8-minute bites here and there, because first of all, I'm never anywhere where I'm just going to sit in 8-minute bites. Like you're gonna still stop in the middle of an episode no matter what you do. If you're on a
And think of that, like you're watching an 8-minute segment of a show, and then that for some reason have to stop like 6 minutes of the way into this piece of content that's only 8 minutes long. Like that just feels really weird.
Yeah.
Quibi Quibi is like communism. It sounded great on paper. It just doesn't work in practice.
So on the news broke on, I think it was Thursday, and I forgot that I had Quibi on my phone, and so I was like, I should probably try this app out at least once before it gets shut down. So I opened it and started watching. Just I don't know what I was watching, but this guy was driving in his car and like in the mountains, and he was texting someone, and I kept switching from portrait to landscape, and it was super cool because it was switching between like what was on the screen on the phone screen. He was FaceTiming his mom at some point. I thought it was cool. I never finished the episode. I just thought it was cool, and that was the most I've ever gone.
Like, huh, that's neat. Now let me go back to some act.
I don't know. I think with Roy, in a better time, in a better life, without COVID, Quibi might have been a hit. When I read the headline that they had just released an Apple TV app, and one day later they announced that they were shutting down, I was just like, all those people that put in that hard working effort to build that app and then to watch it go down the drain in
none of those people were told
2
either.
months. Yeah, you're right. So I am watching The Fugitive. I don't know what episode 4 episodes into it
How
or
have
something
you not
like that.
finished it all yet?
Because I feel like there's going to be a big cliffhanger at the end, and then I'm going to be like, well, damn, what the hell happened? Because they're never going to come back with a new version because they're shut down and nobody wanted to buy their content. They already went to Apple and Netflix supposedly and offered to sell their content to them, and they said no.
I don't need new content. I mean, come on.
Apple. So here's the thing about Apple TV. Apple TV pays a lot of money for their content. They want better quality than content.
Yeah.
So they said no because it's not good quality in their effort. I feel like I don't feel like they're going to pay top dollar for it, and I think it would be an insult to put that on there.
I'm dying for some season 2s of certain Apple TV shows at this point. I'm still working through their catalog, but I need some season 2s on some of these. We're
coming up on the year. We're coming up on the year mark in November, so that will be exciting. I just have to tell you, drum roll, please. Guess what comes out on Friday?
The Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian. Season 2.
Woo!
So we'll
Who's
all
excited
be for an hour every week.
What?
We're all going to be consumed for an hour every week.
That's probably the highlight of this entire Gooply cast is the Mandalorian coming out Friday. Nothing else mattered on this entire show.
It'll be interesting to see because I know the episodes were right around 30 to 40 minutes for the season 1. I'm really hoping that the Mandalorian picks up an extra 30 minutes an episode and goes to like the full hour maybe. I just feel like it was kind of cut off a little bit and they could have done a little more with it. That's just my thoughts. I don't know if anybody else thought about that. I hate half-hour episodes.
I think that an hour-long format probably would have suited it better. I love the storytelling, the way that Disney told the Mandalorian story, the way they shot it film-wise, everything about the mystery and the intrigue that's behind everything on the show was amazing, and it did everything that it needed to do to hook you in from that first episode. If I had one criticism, it would be the shorter episodes, and I would want longer episodes. That's my only, and obviously longer seasons. Whoever decided that seasons need to go from like the 22 that it used to be back in the day down to 10, those people can go, you know what? Because that was a horrible decision. I understand that shows are costing more to make these days, but you'd make that in revenue by extending your seasons out. Think of all the ad revenue people could get.
I know. I feel the same way because, like, you look at TV shows, I'm trying to think of what TV shows I'm watching. Oh, Good Doctor. So I'm kind of watching The Good Doctor on ABC. I picked it up on Netflix. Really good show if you haven't watched it yet. But that's about an 18 episode season. So I feel like, and then you got the 10 or 12 episodes, sometimes 8 episodes of a streaming service. Just kind of lacks it. And then I think some of the regular normal episodes are like 24 episodes. So from network TV, network TV, you're going way down.
8 episodes on those shows that like really grip you from like just about the halfway point, but only go to 8 episodes. Way too rough. It needs to be bumped up.
And
like
I feel like
15.
Yeah, and I feel like if these streaming providers are doing more of a 1 week release like Disney and Apple TV, where they only release 1 episode per week, I feel like you're getting people to stay attached longer. Making longer seasons is a better opportunity for you. I feel like you're gonna attract more people by having longer episodes, even if you release them at a 1 week thing. Like if you had a 24 episode of a Netflix show or something like that, and it was released all on day 1, then it would probably be watched like, in the next like 3 or 4 days, completely. But if I would be very happy if they made longer episodes, and would be okay with them if they released them once per week.
Like just as a test, who here watched Game of Thrones other than myself? Raise your hand if you watched Game of Thrones.
I did.
Man, really? Only Matt and I? Okay.
I'm gonna say though. Go ahead.
Who here that watched Game of Thrones subscribed to HBO for Game of Thrones, and as soon as Game of Thrones was over, unsubscribed from HBO? Because I know I did, and I know a lot of people who did. HBO could have kept me a lot longer if they made those seasons longer. Just saying. Not only that, by keeping me there longer, I would have explored other content on their services, because I dabbled in some of their other shows while I had it, and maybe I would have found something that would have kept me on for that show. The fact of the matter is Matt brings up a good point. If they're doing it an episode every week, they have you subscribe to them for longer. Those people who pick up the streaming services just for a show, like I'm sure there's people out there that subscribe to Disney Plus just for The Mandalorian, and then drop Disney Plus when The Mandalorian's done with. And not that Disney needs anybody's money at this point. They could keep subscribers longer on Disney Plus if they had The Mandalorian stream for longer period of time than 8 episodes or 10 episodes or whatever be it. If they went for 24 episodes, and you figure that's
24 weeks.
Yeah, well, not even 24 weeks.
If you release 1 episode per week, that's 24 weeks.
If they
people are going to be subscribed.
They don't do 24 straight weeks of TV. They take a mid-season break. And if Disney followed that same format, and they just took like a couple weeks off, then they extended the season into another month. That's another month you have to subscribe to them. Like they could do a mid-season break. Like they could really make some money off this. I'm just saying. They could have you subscribed for 6 to 7 months out of the year if you just subscribe to The Mandalorian.
I think many people would be happy that there would be more Mandalorian, but furious at any comparison to actual TV, which they try to get away from by going to streaming services.
Like the only show that the only Netflix original series that I actually really like is Stranger Things. And if I were subscribed only to watch Stranger Things and then it gets released, I probably would unsub from Netflix, but we continue subbing to it because my wife likes a lot of the other shows that are on there, but I don't care about the other shows that are on there. So
you guys should watch The Good Doctor. Have you watched The Good Doctor?
No.
You guys should watch The Good Doctor on Netflix. It's an ABC show, but it's on Netflix. And there's like 5 seasons or something of it. It's really good. It's about a doctor who has autism, and he's a surgeon at St. Joe's Medical Center in California. I can't remember who it's played by, but it's the same guy that's in Bates Motel.
Oh, yes, that's right. I watched a doctor like reviews the first episode and the medical practices that were in the first episode, and he was like, "This is actually relatively accurate. They did a good job." And like understanding that the character has autism and how like quickly he can piece things together, and like sometimes how abstractly he just recalls information and like applies it to some kind of house-like situation. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely something to check out if you haven't. I highly recommend it. So. Anybody else watching anything interesting? As long as we're talking about or streaming services.
I'm working through Servants on Apple TV Plus. I'm only like 4 episodes in. That show is weird.
It's creepy, isn't it? It's
Thanks
weird.
for the recommendation. It is weird. And it just gets weirder. Not in a bad way, in a good way. I'm kicking myself that I'm only on like the 4th episode as it is, just because I've been so busy this last week. I've come home, and other than the Facebook Live that I did with Matt the other day, I basically come home and like fallen asleep right away. In fact, I was so tired doing that Facebook Live with Matt as it was. So I've watched almost nothing this entire week. I have an episode of Star Trek Discovery I still have to watch, and I need to get some more Servant under my belt.
Did anybody watch Picard? Star Trek Picard?
Yes.
I loved it. Are you guys not Star Trek fan?
No.
So
Not enough to watch it.
It's really good.
Spoiler alert.
Don't, because we got people on the podcast. No spoilers.
And I still have to watch The Next Generation. I've been putting it off for so long.
Okay, no spoiler alert then. I think that the show should have ended with 1 season. I think that the thing that happens at the very end that hooks you into season 2 shouldn't have happened. They should have ended it with a certain event, and season 1 should have been a one and done. It wasn't bad. It was good, but I think it would have been amazing if they had ended it the way that
I don't know about that. I really liked the ending of it, and I would have been really sad with the other ending of it.
I mean, I don't disagree, but there would have been a certain poetic justice to it ending that way.
No, and I agree with that. But I think that like just to have 1 season of it, like
if it is a one and done, it would have been great. For them to do more than 1 season, I feel like they're just trying to capitalize on the whole Picard idea of, the Next Generation kind of makes a sort of a comeback with Picard. And I feel that extending it past 1 season is more of a cash grab, or at least it seems more of a cash grab. It was good, but I think it would have been great as a 1 season show.
One of the things that I really took away from Picard is, and this is kind of a spoiler alert, but when he meets up with
no spoilers.
Well, but this is not like a spoiler like you were gonna do. You were gonna do an ending spoiler.
Well, in all fairness,
did you see that pizza oven that Riker had at his house?
Oh, the big outdoor pizza oven.
Oh, I so want one of those.
Wait, Riker's still alive?
Riker's alive.
Spoiler alert, you'll see a lot of cameos and appearances from Star Trek characters that are throughout all the different series.
No, he was in a couple episodes of it. He directed it though. He directed it though. He was in it, and Troy was in it.
In it.
Counselor Troy. But
one of the queens of sci-fi.
Yeah. So anyways, I highly recommend checking it out, Matt and Tim. I know you guys aren't Star Trek people, but
if you want a good laugh, watch Lower Decks too. It's like halfway between Rick and Morty and I don't know, some other tame cartoon. It is definitely adult humor, but it's not like as raunchy as Rick and Morty can be. But it is definitely not a children's show, and it's an animated Star Trek show, and it's They just finished season 1, and those last 2 episodes of the season were amazing. The rest of the season was kind of mad. I wasn't sure if I liked it or not completely, but I stuck it through, and those last couple episodes really cemented me into it. I'm ready for season 2.
Are you guys watching anything or have any recommendations on content to watch?
And we're watching The Office for the 37th time.
We were talking. Remember, you were talking about HGTV and how you have, what is it? Laughs or what that Home Improvement.
Oh yeah.
So I actually downloaded the entire Home Improvement season after we talked. I bought it on Apple's catalog, and I bought it and downloaded it to my iPad, and I
like
watched it
one season or like the whole series.
Oh, the whole season, the whole series. I bought it for like $80. I bought the whole thing. I was like, I liked Home Improvement, so
it's a good show.
That was a great show.
It was like one of those shows that you can watch like almost regardless of what else is going on.
Yeah, I did read a headline though, in the Apple News app over the weekend, I think it was, or last weekend, that Brad, the actor who played Brad, Tim's oldest dad, was arrested in Oregon. I guess he struck his girlfriend or something like that, or domestic violence or whatnot. So
I saw that article.
Yeah, so that was sad because I don't think they'll do a reunion. Like, I'm really hoping they'll do a reunion, but I feel like when people
had quite a few cameos of Home Improvement characters on Last Man Standing, which is also a great show. If you've not checked out Last Man Standing,
I haven't checked it out. It's on my queue. I need to start watching it. But yeah, so Tim, who are you holding up?
What's that?
Who's that in your lap?
So this is Nelson.
Is that Major Nelson?
Kitty cat.
Is that Major Nelson there?
Yes, Larry. He owns Xbox.
Named after? Is he named after it?
No, this is my wife's cat, and I don't know the full story.
She didn't name him after Major.
No, no, she just named him Nelson because it was a
very tolerant. I don't know many cats that would be willing to do that.
I had a cat that would have immediately started scratching me because he would have just been like, "What are you doing? This isn't what we do."
Same here.
Her other cat, she just hisses at me.
You're going to get another camera set up just for the cat, so the cat can be on the Gooplycast every single week.
We should just set up a live Gooplycast camera, put a GoPro on the cats, and let them walk around Tim's apartment.
We could get the Ring floating cam and have it track the cat, so that
the drone cam. Yeah, we should get the drone cam. Yeah, and it just follows the cats around the apartment all day long, and we can see when Tim picks up the cat.
Matt, we still need your cat food, your cat treat company to sponsor, and I'll do a commercial with this cat.
Yeah, there you
He'll
go.
be happy.
Awesome. I will suggest that to my boss. He's down for stuff like that.
What was I going to mention? Now that I forgot, cats.
I don't know. That cat was just so amazing.
I will plug the last things that I watched. I was watching 3 shows. I watched and finished How to Get Away with Murder. It had its last season. It had season finale or series finale recently. I love that show. That show's fantastic. It's about a lawyer who, in the first year of How to Get Away with Murder, has a class that she's teaching, and all of these from all of these kids, she selects a handful of them to be kind of her assistants to help her try cases, and they all have their own background stories that kind of weave in with this main character, this lawyer, and each season, a death of someone in the community that they live in plagues them. They kind of cause this death, and so they have to basically get away with murder and all try and cover up for themselves, and things just keep escalating as the show goes on. And the series finale was really, really awesome, kind of epic, very heartfelt, definitely worth watching if you like anything courtroom or don't know, any kind of deduction-like shows. And
Is that on a streaming service?
It's all on Netflix.
I'm adding that to my queue because that sounds amazing.
It's one of those shows where it's really easy to just kind of like, burst out loud when someone gets got or something like that. It's good. And the other two shows, the other one was Umbrella Academy. I watched season 1 and season 2 of that. That show is a hot mess, and I hate it, yet I finished it because it's like a train wreck that is going to happen, but you can't look away from. All the characters in that are like real people, like regular people. And if you've seen any of the images, also on Netflix, of Umbrella Academy, but don't know what it's about. It's just about a bunch of people with powers, and they're like regular people that happen to have powers, and so kind of screw things up in a way normal people would, and then kind of apply their powers almost as an afterthought to things. Fun show to watch. I don't know that I recommend it unless you really like comics or soup shows. And then the third show is Dark, which I rewatched recently, and that's kind of like a mix between Stranger Things and I can't remember the other show that it's like. Maybe I'm gonna just say Stranger Things. It's like a really, really mature Stranger Things, like a Stranger Things and an Ozark without the drugs and stuff. So it has a little bit of otherworldly mystery, but it's about time travel rather than kind of like sci-fi monsters. And it's a 3-season show with about 8 to 10 episodes per show. And if you like time travel or like other kind of intricate plots where everything in a frame or that a character says kind of has importance not only in the episode that you're watching, but further on in the season and then further on in other seasons, it's a fantastically done show. And you can watch that on Netflix also.
The cat's still sitting there. Look at that.
Is he on your shoulder?
Sitting on the back of the
Microsoft
chair.
needs to send the cat a Christmas sweater, not you.
Oh, so I was going to mention, because Tim tweeted out the video, or not the video of the Apple, the Xbox fridge.
Oh, yeah.
I want the fridge. It would go really great right here in my background. Like,
it would take up so much space.
I would make room for it, though. Like, you just think
the
that
Xbox
would look...
fridge is like the size of your couch. It's like the width
of your
couch.
But I would just take everything down that I just hung up and put it up over here somewhere.
That'd be
cool. Like, that would just be so cool. Just to turn around during the Gooplecast and get a drink out of the Xbox fridge and have it light up green and play the Halo music inside. Like, there's so much detail to that fridge.
There was. It was amazing that Microsoft still has the the time to do that. I mean, given everything that's been going on this year, the attention to detail for that kind of marketing was really awesome. Because that was the joke, right? That the Xbox, the new one, looks like a fridge, and they're like, we got time.
If you haven't seen it, go to our Gooply Twitter account. It's posted on there. It's really, iJustine did a great unboxing of that.
Memes IRL, man.
Yeah. So, anyways.
Okay. Anything else? I feel like that's a good place to cool it, so to speak.
Roy, have you decided yet? iPhone 12 or 12 Pro Max? Where are you?
I could go tomorrow and be out of this nightmare of my iPhone 10. I could tomorrow.
Do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay, here's the thing. I'd be happy to be out of this nightmare, but I know that I will still. There'll be a part of me that'd be like, "You should have just waited. You should have just waited."
No, you'll be so happy.
You could trade in your Pixel. You could trade in your Pixel for a 12, and then
if I
trade
wait,
in.
I'll be happy with no regrets. If I don't wait, I'll have the slight regret of I should have gotten the Pro Max, the absolute best of the best, be better than Matt.
But all the suffering,
and you'll have a white box instead of a black box.
I
You're not going to have a Pro box. Come on. It's all about the
I
box.
gotta have a better phone than you, so I'm gonna have to go with the Pro Max.
There you go.
All right, there we go.
Because then I can hold that over you.
I have one more thing to say. The green, like seafoam green iPhone. Have you guys seen that?
The iPhone 12 one.
The iPhone 12, yeah.
iPhone 12, yeah. I think it looks white. I've seen it. It's a terrible color. I think from a distance, it's indistinguishable from white. Like
It's a very light seafoam green. Like it is so light it's almost white. You were absolutely correct.
it's so
Hey.
much lighter than I thought it was going to be.
I just thought of something. Roy, give Apple your best pitch right now about why they should send you the iPhone 12 Pro Max first to review it.
Well,
Go.
first and foremost, Apple, I have an iPhone 10 and it's still supported by you and it's failing me. And this is a great chance for you to get something in my hands that I can really be impressed with because I'll be making a big step up. Obviously, if you did a great job on the Pro Max, you'll get a glowing review from me. You can only go up from the 10, right? We're going to go up. I mean, Apple's not going to see this. Apple's not going to send me an iPhone Pro 12, a 12 Pro Max, let's face it. But if somebody out there in Apple land sees this and takes pity on my poor soul with my iPhone 10 right now, send me an iPhone 12 Pro Max. I'll even take an iPhone 12 if you want to send me that. Get me out of this hell. Give you a great review.
So, and I just think it's to mention, the Gooply team here did a great job on my Apple Watch review, and I did not ever think that we would have hit the amount of people that we hit. And Tim did some fantastic editing, and we all were out there and filmed it, and we did a great job of it. I think that if Apple sends you a 12 Pro, we will do a stellar review of it for them. Just saying. And Apple, if you want to send me one along too, I'll take it too.
But Apple, if you really care about me, you won't send him one because you want me to one up him. And I feel like Apple can get the humor of that. Did you guys ever back in the day? It was when the iPad first came out. There was a story that circulated around that a guy he bought an iPad and he takes it back to the Apple store to return it because his wife basically is like, no. And of course, when you return it, Apple wants to know why you returned it. So the salesman simply just said, wife said no. Lo and behold, a couple weeks later, an iPad gets mailed to this guy with a note on it that says, Apple says yes. And he just got an iPad. So, Apple, if that story is true, I know you got a heart.
Help a boy out. Help him out. Come on.
All right. Well, in that case, whether you're Apple sending Roy an iPhone 12 Pro Max or listening to our live show or after our live show on one of our recording platforms, I want to thank all of you for joining us. It's been a fantastic episode today of the Gooply Cast. I've been your host, Matt Carter. For Matt, Roy, and Tim, thank you for watching. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram @Gooply. We'll catch you next time.